Hello YouTube, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the shop. This is an accurate representation of 48 minutes of sleep last night, so let's see what we can get done today. First, some coffee. Today's plan is to keep it simple. I've got a very small task that I need to do before I can go much farther on this subframe to help prevent further corrosion and the beginning of paint failure. And that simple thing is in all the areas in between where there are stitch welds, there are little crevices where water can get in between the layers of steel. And what that's going to do is it's going to start the steel in there rusting, and that's going to start eating away at the edge of the paint, and then we'll get paint blistering happening, and it works its way away from that little crevice and will end up blistering all the way around. So today I'm going to try filling all of these little crevices with an adhesive sealant to prevent any moisture from getting in there. Now this should be a fairly simple process. I have in here my favorite polyurethane adhesive sealant. This is very similar to Sikaflex 1A. It's just made by a different company. The idea is to force this into any and all of the areas where there's a join between two different pieces of steel without a continuous weld. So for example, from here to here, I'm just going to go along and push it in, wipe it off with my finger so I know it's pushed right into the back of the groove there, kind of like putting silicone caulking around your bathtub. I'm not overly concerned with it being not messy. This is all going to be underneath the bed of the flatbed. Nobody's really going to see this. This is to stop water from causing a problem later. Step 1, you're going to want some gloves. Step 2, you're probably going to want another glove on your smearing hand. Step 3, more coffee, definitely more coffee. Step 4, take the old caulking out of the tip of the caulking gun. Step 5, tunes. So the first section I'm going to do is on the inside edge of the subframe where the box tube and the channel meet. This seam and the one on the outside of the subframe are stitch welded front to back. It's not really very difficult to do at all. The key is just getting enough sealant in to fill the gap and not getting so much that you smear it all over the place afterwards. Now the reason for the second glove on my right hand is just as a safety. If I rip through the first layer, I still have a glove. Effectively what I'm doing here is the same as what automotive manufacturers do between body panel layers that get bolted together or spot welded. This is just a seam sealer being used on a different scale. By giving a final smear with my finger, I'm ensuring that the cavity is full and that the edges are feathered out. With a little bit better lighting, you can see there is actually a fairly large gap here because the channel is a square corner and the box tube is a round corner. I'm also going to finish in between all the stitch welds on the gussets so that we don't get corrosion in between the gusset and the box tube. Nothing complicated here, just lots of repetition, and it'll make a big difference a couple years down the road. Half a tube of caulking later and maybe half an hour of time, this is much better protected for the future. Well, that's really all there is to it. It's a couple dollars worth of sealant. It's really easy to do. So if you've got areas underneath your vehicle, or if you're building a camper and it's made out of steel, anywhere where there's a seam that's not welded, try and fill it with some sealant so that you don't get any water in there and get rust starting in between the layers. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope I wasn't too asleep to make this properly. Let me know in the comments below if I should never make a video on 48 minutes of sleep again. Thanks for watching. Stick around, there's lots more to come. We'll see you next time.